Alrighty, so for episode 1 of our podcast type interview here on Twitch, we are going to be with Defiantfa11, and he is a Twitch streamer, and his handle on Twitch and Twitter is Defiantfa11, 2 11s for the last 2 L's. I'll put it in the description of the video. You guys already have it on Twitch chat. We do this once a week on Sundays at around about 8 o'clock, Queensland time. So, yeah.
That'll be 9 o'clock for me.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty much like 9 o'clock for everyone that's not Queensland. Well, at least for like New South Wales and Victoria, I believe. So, yeah.
Yeah, you're the only guys that don't follow the daylight savings thingy.
Yeah, it's weird, man. It's weird because I'm a Victorian boy, man. I just moved up here a few months ago, and
yeah, I remember your missus was telling me that you were going up there, and last year, wasn't it? You were saying, yeah.
Yeah. So, like, I've been back and forth probably the last year and a half, but yeah, I made the move about 4 months ago ish, maybe 5.
Was that for work, or you just wanted to get out of Melbourne?
Or just to be with the missus, hey, because we were doing the long distance thing for like maybe a year and a half, but it was just back and forth seeing each other, and yeah, ended up making the move up here.
Yeah, that's it. That's the way it goes. Yeah, I do actually remember her coming back because when she used to stream as well. I remember her mentioning that she's moving. She only lived pretty close to me, I think, like not far away.
So whereabouts are you at right now?
Whittlesea.
Yeah. So do you know Shepparton at all?
Yeah.
That's where I was at. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
That's it, man. That's it. So anyway, to formally introduce you to the viewers, sorry, there's a airplane going over. They're pretty frequent. they're pretty frequent, as I was saying, like because of New Year's and stuff. But we'd learn to live with those planes. So tell the viewers a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, easy done. I mean, first I just want to say thanks, man. I mean, I know this is your first podcast and everything, and it's great to be here because I mean, I never really get to talk about myself all that much because I am only a small streamer, and like I said, I've only been doing it for on the 5th of January is my official 1 year of streaming. So
coming up.
Yeah, so I mean, it's sort of been hit and miss a little bit because I, as a streamer, with how Australia's internet connections are, makes it very difficult to stream. And I'm a stickler for quality. I like to have something that looks good. I can't sort of sit there and I'm very picky when it comes to my stream quality. Like, if it doesn't look good, I'm not happy. And that's been like me with everything graphic design I used to do. So that's why I think I'm so picky with everything, because it's like, when you do graphic design, people pick all these little things, and I think it's just bred in me that I have to be that way.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. That's an interesting point, dude, because that was actually one of the things that I wanted to get your sort of your opinion on, is like, the thing is with Twitch, you can, like, it's either quality or you can do sort of quantity stuff when you're restricted in your bandwidth and stuff. So you obviously opt for the more quality side of things when it comes to streaming, yeah?
Look, I'd say a mix, to be honest. I mean, I used to have like standard ADSL2, the standard speed. Now I've got NBN now, so I've got a really fast connection. But having ADSL2 really sort of put things into perspective for me, like the limits that I had. Like you couldn't play multiplayer games and stream because the quality would be that bad. Like nobody would really watch anyway. It'd just be pixelated. Then you'd lag in the game, and then you'd crack it, and um, they always suggest that you should stream over a wide connection, and my problem is I can't do that because I haven't got the setup for that either. So at the moment, even now, I'm streaming over wireless, but I've tweaked it enough so it doesn't really drop out all that much. Like every now and then it will, but yeah, I mean, that's always been an obstacle as well. Just how wireless doesn't stand up all the time to that sort of bandwidth.
Absolutely. And so when did you end up getting NBN?
Only about 6 months ago, because I used to live obviously with my parents, and I met Tara, and we moved out, and we're getting married in 2018 now. So it's all happened in the space of like 2 years. We're
Congratulations,
just
man. That's
thanks,
huge,
man.
dude. That's
I appreciate it.
huge.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I proposed to her in the kitchen, her natural habitat. That's not. It's actually my natural habitat. We share the cooking. It's all good. But yeah, I proposed to her in the kitchen, and yeah, she thought I was joking around because I used to just always walk around and just get on one knee and go, "Will you marry me?" And I never even had a ring. And then one day she went out because she decided the ring that she wanted, and I'm like, "Oh, sweet, whatever. Just for $5,000, don't worry about it. Just put it on my tab. It's fine." And we went out, and I brought it home, and about 2 weeks later, I was like, "You know what? Fuck it. I have to ask because I want to ask. I don't want to leave it." And I just got down on one knee, and she's like, "Oh, get up. You're just fucking around." I'm like, "I'm not fucking around. I'm serious. Will you marry me?" And
That's
she goes, "Yes," and just starts crying and like ringing everybody. And I'm just like, "Ah, cool. All right. Well, that'll get me a few days of peace."
that's awesome, dude. So that would have been like, at what point did you sort of say, all right, I'm gonna marry this woman? Was it like early on in the piece or later on down the line?
Um, it was a few months in, like because we met online. Most people do these days anyway. Um, and we just sort of started seeing each other, and I think we just clicked automatically. It was just like, yep, bang. We know what we want to do. We want to get a house and all that stuff, and yeah, we just took the plunge, I guess. We saw everyone else doing it too, so that might have been like monkeys, monkey see, monkey do kind of thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. Because like it's a pretty big thing. Like it's almost one of those like defining moments in a
Mm,
dude's life. Like when he
definitely.
goes on that adventure, and
Mm.
yeah, no, that's interesting. So when you were exploring avenues with streaming, what first got you into Twitch? Like where did that come up?
Well, it's interesting actually. I did a few posts last night in regards to people who inspired me to stream and just generally people who inspire me still. And there are a lot of small streamers and some of them are large now. I think I really started watching Twitch when I got my Xbox One back when it originally came out. I bought it day one, and the Twitch app came out, and I was like, "Oh, what's this streaming? I've never heard of it." Like I'd never really gotten into it that much. I'd heard of it, but I never knew what Twitch was. So I was like, "Oh, I'll check it out." And I watched this streamer, and I just thought, "Man, this is freaking awesome!" Like, people are talking, and like, she's just drinking on the stream and just having a good time, and that's sort of what I wanted to do as well. Like, I looked at it and thought, "Yeah, I could do that." Like, I was a raging alcoholic. Well, not really, but I drink a lot, so and I like to have fun while I game and stuff. And I thought, if I get onto it and people sort of come on, I have more online friends because I struggled to get online friends because a lot of my friends who actually game, they have different consoles to what I
Yeah,
have.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
exactly.
so now I've got a PS4 and an Xbox One and a PC, and but even then, I still don't game with them because like their times are all stuffed up.
Yeah.
Because everyone's, oh, they got lives. I'm like, yeah, me too. I guess I have a life. I can't game every second of the day. So
Do you,
I guess yeah, it was definitely Xbox One and Twitch that got me into it.
Absolutely. So, well, that's interesting. It's weird how Twitch can sort of have that effect because that
Mm,
sounds very similar to sort of how it was for me. Like I didn't get it. Like I didn't get onto it by like consoles or anything. But when I did
mm,
see it, I was like, wow, like that looks crazy. I want to do something like that. And then
yeah.
I assume, did you go through like the can I stream type dialogue in your head that was like, oh, I've got ADSL, and then you just like,
Mm.
that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm one of those people that always pushes every single bit of hardware that I've got to the limit. So I was like, can I do it? Like technically, yeah, I can. But then how far can I push it? Like what can I stream? What, that exactly went through my head straight away. I was curious to see what my internet output was, and like I said, wireless as well. Like what can I do?
Yeah, exactly. No, that's very interesting. So I'm pretty sure now. I could be wrong here, but I think you
Mm.
got started eventually streaming with like a wireless data plan. Is that right, or am I missing?
Yeah, that did happen because what happened was I originally moved. What did I do? I moved out with my girlfriend. we had ADSL too, and I thought, shit, this is not helping, because I'm in the same situation as I was before, and we still can't get the broadband national broadband network. So I went out and bought like a Vodafone 4G connection,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh yeah, this runs pretty good, because 4G speeds are pretty much like NBN. They're pretty fast, like you got a high upload and download speed. So I threw it on and did that for a bit, and it cost me $140 a month, which I'm still paying for, but now I'm not using, so it's just wasted money. But even now, like I went to Sydney to the EB Games Expo, and we were just sitting in the hotel room. I'm like, I can just stream now with that. So in a way, it did come in handy, but paying $140 a month for something I'm not using every single day of the month is
Wait, so
just like
is that in a plan or?
yeah, it's in a 2-year plan. I got stuck in and I can't get
Ooh.
out of it. So yeah, that was my own stupid fault.
Damn, damn. Well, because I got started originally, I was gonna get a bonded DSL connection, which is just like
Mm,
two simultaneous ADSL2 connections to get a
yeah.
higher upload, and then that fell through because there wasn't enough ports at the exchange in Shepparton, so I had to
Ah.
scrap that idea. And then in like a stroke of fortune, or when I'd given up on all this stuff, the NBN
Mm,
came through in my neighborhood, and this was around February 2014, so
yeah.
a while back now. And then
Mm,
of course moving up to Queensland, I've got like now I'm doing what you used to do. I'm streaming off
yeah.
mobile data, and it's incredibly expensive. So I know where you're coming from, and to
Mm,
have to pay that without using it, I feel for you, dude. I really
yeah.
do.
It'd be good if it sort of went over each month, but I mean, these mobile companies have us by the balls, really, don't they? I mean,
Yeah.
they charge $10 for a gigabyte once you go over your limit. It's like, wow, $10 for a gig, man. You pay $120 for the unlimited plan I've got now with NBN. It's like I'm not paying for any extra data.
Yeah, exactly. And I had a lot of people come into Twitch saying like, how does your internet cost that much? Like
Yeah,
most countries have got it pretty good in terms of that stuff.
yeah, definitely. I have noticed that myself. Just having a look at you just go on the net and have a look at their data plans, and it's like how many of them have unlimited, like for $60 a month or something, and here we are paying double that. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, and I had this Swedish guy come in and tell me that you can get a fiber line from your
Oof,
house to wherever the fiber lines go, and get that installed, all the groundwork and everything for 800
mm,
bucks, and then on top of
jeez,
that, like you can do uh like it's like a 15 bucks a month plan after that. So it's like
wow,
they have those sort of alternatives, whereas a lot of Australians don't. You either pay
no,
for those mobile data plans, or you have NBN, or you
mm,
move to one of those places. You don't really have any other options. So
no, exactly. They limit us a fair bit with that.
yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So when you went into Twitch streaming, I guess where you're at today with Twitch streaming, what sort of goals or what are you looking to get out of streaming on Twitch at the moment?
Well, I was interested in gaining a lot of new followers purely because I wanted to build a sort of little community and things like that. But I had a bit of issues with it because I haven't been able to stream during my proper schedule. Um, so I found scheduling my streams to be extremely difficult because every time we might want to go out or something, and then all of a sudden I don't stream, or I come home at the end of the day absolutely wrecked from work, and I just don't do it. So I think this year I'm gonna stick with my schedule as much as I can. If I can't do it, I really have to make sure I let the social media aspect of it know, like my Twitter and my Instagram and all that.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the scheduling's become so important now, hasn't it?
mm. Yeah, actually, I'm speaking of scheduling because I went onto your channel and I borrowed your schedule layout thing because you had all the different time zones on there, and I thought, wow, that's a good idea. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, no, that's fine, dude. Go nuts. It's all good.
Um, Yeah, I was just having a look at it because, I mean, I can technically, really, I get home 2 o'clock maybe every day, but I start at 6. But sometimes I have to stay back at work, so I thought I'll schedule my streams for six o'clock
Yep.
or something like that. I get home, I got enough time to make dinner, and then get on and
So
just do maybe 3 hours, like just to sort of keep a consistent schedule.
absolutely. And so during the day, what are you doing for work at the moment?
I work in a timber yard. I'm actually a warehouse operations manager at the moment.
Okay, perfect. Yep.
So it's completely out of the field that I used to work in. I used to work in IT, and I used to run my own IT business and all that, and it got too difficult.
Yeah.
So I
Yep.
had to sort of slip into something like I did work experience at the place I'm at now, and when I was in year 10, and my uncle used to work for him and all that. So I had avenues, like, had ways in, and now I'm, like second in charge of the whole branch. So can't complain.
Yeah, absolutely. So in order for you to stream currently, you've got this job to make ends meet and stuff. If the opportunity arose and you would like, I don't know, make enough to like live off and have a sustainable living, would you consider dropping that job or would you continue to do it?
Um, I'd probably call myself a workaholic. I'd probably do as much as possible. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm earning a pretty good deal at the place I'm at now, but I mean, I sort of came into streaming as a casual sort of thing. But I sort of want to see more growth, and that's my fault that I haven't seen it, because obviously I haven't been consistent with my streams and all that. But if the opportunity came up for me to take that step, I definitely would. I mean, I reckon I would be fun. I'd be more fun if I could do it all the time than doing it casually, because I usually have all my other problems on my shoulder when I stream.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's one of the unique parts about streaming that I personally like have had issues with in the past. It's like if something happens during the day, like
Mm,
you're in a bad mood and you've got your schedule going, you have like two choices. You don't show up or you stream and you're in a bad mood, and it kind of like shifts the vibe away from like what you do on stream. And that can like I know that I personally struggle with that sometimes because
mm.
you want you want to put on a valuable stream where people can relax and enjoy it and have fun. And yeah, sometimes that stuff gets in the way and it's really hard to like explain to people what that's like.
Mm.
But yeah, exactly. And I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like it does become an actual like issue in terms of streaming. So
Definitely. I mean, I found, some nights I'll get home, and this is where my schedule problem comes into play. And I'll just be like, what, I'm in a bad mood. I'm not going to stream. And then I feel at the end of the night, I've suffered for that, because, I mean, I have a few people who drop in, and I don't have a big following at the moment, but the people who drop in, like, I can name a few. Like, there's Unskilled Player, you know, Snazareth, and all these little guys who have sort of dropped in on the side, and they always come back. Like they're really loyal, and like they're fun. They have a bit of a laugh in the channel, and I've made them all mods purely because, I mean, the small following, but they're always there. So it's appreciated that they can show up even though my schedule's as wild as it is.
absolutely. I mean, and the other part of it is like viewers also have to understand that streamers have lives. Like sometimes
Mm,
we can't be there for legitimate reasons and sometimes we just can't be there because of other reasons, Like so I guess when starting your stream and stuff, you're looking for like a community to hang out, play games with, have some fun, like just to enhance like your sort of gaming experience. Would that be right?
yeah, extremely accurate. Yeah, I mean, for example, just having Overwatch the last 4 or 5 days that I've had it now. I've got streamers on Beam and Twitch who are like, "Ah, do you want to play together and stuff?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, let's hook up," um, because I don't know many people that play it. Um, but a friend of mine who lives in Port Macquarie, um, up in New South Wales, she sort of like begged, or not, she didn't beg me. I shouldn't say that. She's probably watching right now, but she she just kept saying, "I'll play Overwatch," and I tried it at a mate's place, and I thought, I don't really like it that much. Like, it didn't do anything for me. And then I bought it. I just bought it because I'm like that. I'm so impulsive when it comes to buying video games. And I bought it, and now I can't sort of stop playing it. I'm like addicted to it, but I have to sort of back off a little bit for Tara's sake.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, man, exactly. Overwatch is one of those games though, like I think it almost like grows on you. Like the more you play it, the more sort of addicting it is.
Yeah, I mean, I find it very simple in some forms. Like, I guess there is strategy to it, but it's really just a simple, like, multiplayer game where you just have an objective, and like if you don't stick to the objective, you fail. But if you do, you got a chance, and there's different characters and ways to sort of get past them. I find it, for it for what it is, it's perfect, and its popularity, I can understand it. I mean, Blizzard really obviously killed Battleborn with that, because I found Battleborn to be pretty similar to that game.
Yeah, well, like Blizzard have been killing it, like, and they've got that long reputation. I guess a big budget as well, considering like World
Mm,
of Warcraft and stuff. And I know when
mm,
they dropped Heroes of the Storm, I played that, and it was like almost identical to League of Legends, but with a few
uh,
different tweaks here and there. And it wasn't really my thing. But then at that point, I was kind of wondering, like, what's the next thing? Because it didn't really go too far. There's still people who play it and stream it, and there's some tournaments here and there, but it's not exactly on
mm,
the same level as something like Overwatch or Counter-Strike or anything like that. And then they dropped
yeah.
Overwatch, and my god, that's a great game. Same with Hearthstone. Like, they make these fantastic games, and
Mm.
it's amazing. Like, Overwatch is just so like, even just the graphics, man, it blows my mind. I go into a game, I'm like, wow, like Dorado
Yeah.
or something, you're just like, wow.
Mm. Yeah, I wish I could do that. I'm still running a 670 GTX, man. I got to upgrade to the 10 series.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
My computer's pretty old now. Like I'm don't hate me, and most people will, but I am running an AMD setup, except for the graphics card. I just preferred AMD due to the price. It was cheaper at the time, and like I sort of fiddle with my computer a lot, so I thought, yeah, they're sort of tolerable to overclocks and things like that. Screw it, I'll do it. So I've had this thing running for about maybe 3 years now. Um, but I don't get to see everything now as good as I used to see it, because I need to upgrade my graphics card.
Yeah. That's true. Um. So yeah. When it comes to you streaming and stuff, what do you think is like? Because here's where I'm coming from. When I first started streaming in 2014, it was
Mm,
like it was big, but it wasn't like it is today. Like when I started, how do I explain this? There wasn't there wasn't so much competition. It wasn't as big. So like when you're what I'm mostly interested in is with you starting almost a year ago now, and you coming into it around 2016, 2015, around there. What
mm,
what was it like for you when you first started? Because obviously I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, but you probably go in with a lot of enthusiasm and energy and excitement and stuff, and then you get to the grind. And I'm just
mm.
wondering what that's like for somebody like a year ago, as opposed to like what I did when I was streaming in 2014.
Yeah. Well, when I did first start, like you said, yeah, I was very enthusiastic. I mean, I still am now. I'm enthusiastic about it. I create my own graphics for it, and overlays and stuff like that. And I love doing the back end side of. I've always loved doing that. Just graphic design and all that. But when I did start, I sort of went into it with a different perspective to what I have now, because I didn't know where I wanted to go with it. Like I just thought I'll just stream every now and then and whatever. Whereas now, coming to the end of my first year, I have a schedule, um, which I've been pretty like sticking to pretty well now, compared to earlier in the year when I sort of took a few hits where I'd stream for 4 or 5 hours and nobody would drop in. It sort of hit me a little bit, and I died down probably sort of September wise. I was sort of getting a little bit over it, and then now I've just gone nut. I know what my goal is. I want to just stick with it. But like you were saying, yeah, from a perspective of starting earlier when it wasn't as big, you can tell now that it's very oversaturated. Like I can stream Overwatch, but there's like 50,000 other people streaming it at the same time. So how the hell am I going to get any viewers from that? I mean, I don't really think about it too much, but when you really come down to it, I mean, you're like, I'm going to be right at the bottom, because my viewership isn't as large at the moment. So I've found that you have to sort of balance what you play to get anywhere. And I'm sort of, I play what I want. So I'm going to play the Old Republic or something like that. There's hardly any viewers, and I sort of look at it and go, maybe I can play something that's popular, but then if it's not going to make me happy, there's no point doing it. So, I mean,
Well, that's it. I mean, that's a real thing, I reckon. When you're first starting, because I was like doing the same thing, man. It's like hard to balance yourself having fun and your viewers dropping in and trying to grow it, because when you look at it this way, it's like most viewers like watching someone who's having fun, but if you do something that is going to get you exposure on Twitch that you don't enjoy, then those viewers are just like numbers on a board that are just going to drop in and drop out. And with how it is today, it's like, if, as you said, if you go on Overwatch, like you're just scrolling for days and days and days and days, and there's so many people, but it's so fun. It's so much fun. I love that game.
Me too. I mean, I'm not going to sacrifice. I mean, I'm having fun playing it. I'm not going to say, oh, I'm only streaming it because it's popular, because that's not the case. If I didn't want to play it, I wouldn't play it. So, you know, but there's a lot of people on there who probably would just do it for viewers, and you know, I find that a little bit of a shame, because you know, nobody should really play. I mean, this is only in my opinion. Obviously, people can do what they want, but you know, you shouldn't really play a game if it doesn't make you happy. And viewers do pick up on that. You know, as you can do as many giveaways as you want, people will pick up on the negativity of it in the end.
Yeah, exactly. So what would you say in terms of like your time on Twitch? What do you think? Because I know for me personally, I was a lot more confident. I became a lot more. I had a lot more vocal skills, like social interaction type skills and that sort of thing from streaming. Is there anything that you can think of that you've really like improved upon?
I'd probably say my communication is pretty good. I mean, you could probably tell from this interview, I do like to talk a lot. I can be very social. I mean, but like I said, you know, my channel doesn't get that many people coming on. So, you know, I always welcome people to just jump in and talk about whatever. Like, I have a weird sense of humor, so you know, people can just drop in and say whatever they want. You can drop in and say penis if you want, and oh lol. It's you know, it's like I am pretty laid back, but I mean, getting exposure is probably the thing I found the most difficult in my whole time streaming.
I think that's consistent for a lot of people though, because like even for me, it's like I have my regular viewers and I have this viewer base just from so many years of doing it. But at the end of the day, how do you market yourself where there's like how do you set yourself apart marketing wise than everybody else streaming out there? And that's probably the hardest thing that, like, when I look at the whole side of growing the stream and stuff, that's a real issue, you know.
I'm getting a few penis comments on my stream at the moment now. After that, yeah, but I agree with what you're saying. Like, the exposure thing is difficult. I have followed a few you know, female streamers, and like, I have no problems with, you know, people, you know, flashing boobs and stuff, because I mean, hey, I'm gonna watch it for that. But I have noticed a few streamers sort of get ahead from that, and probably where my dip came from earlier in the year, when I sort of gave up, was this, like, I saw a lot of that, like, you know, like, this streamer started with 100 people, and now she's got her boobs out, and like, it's like 1,000 people, and it's like that shit gets you down sometimes, you know, like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, cool.
Well,
Thanks, Absalom.
with like chicks themselves, in the probably the last year or so, there are more chicks than ever on Twitch, because if you're a female, and I mean, when I look at it this way, you could say it's sexist, but females don't really have too many, like, the broad range of careers that a man can have. Like chicks can be tradies, but most won't want to do that sort of stuff. Like,
Of course, yeah.
but when they look at Twitch, it's like, wow, like, this is a killer market. You've got like a bunch of dudes who are sitting around doing whatever, and you know, they can profit off that and exploit that. And it's never really been as much like that as it is today. I think it's just continually getting more and more like that. But yeah, like, there's been times where I've compared myself to other streamers, especially ones that started out around the same time as me, and yeah, it does sort of take a toll if I dwell on it for too long, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. but I mean, I've seen your channel and I have watched a few of your VODs as well, and you've stuck with it. So I mean, that's just what you have to do, really. I mean, you can't really dwell on other people's stuff because you're not going to get anywhere. And that, like, going back to my little dip earlier in the year, that's what I did. I focused on the wrong thing. And I think if I'm positive me is probably much more fun than negative me. I mean, you can watch me on stream sometimes and I'll crack the shits and yeah, it's funny. But the positive me is a little bit more, open to just having fun and, but I mean, my freaking dark side keeps coming out when I'm playing Overwatch, especially because as soon as I can't win, I mean, this mouse that I've got here has lasted me 2 years. I don't know how. It's just like a wireless mouse, but I think I've almost crushed it to death in the last week playing Overwatch.
Oh, it's something about FPSs, man. It really brings it out. um, but yeah, no, it's like it's one of those things because the psychology and the philosophy that you bring into streaming completely defines what you do as a streamer and how it results. So it's like it's the same with like a lot of things, but like if you're positive and shit and you like you're doing all the right things mentally, then it kind of like it's like the price that you pay for like having some viewers in your stream, and it's not even a negative thing. That's the thing. Like for me, when I was streaming, it's like I totally changed my psychology because it was like I started and I was just like low self-esteem, didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, didn't really have anything, and then I have some viewers that want to chat, and then I start talking and talking, and then we get some momentum, and then my whole philosophy sort of changed based off of that. And I can definitely see a difference. Like if I get super hyped on stream from the start of the stream, my viewer list blows up. But
of course.
if I'm chill and I'm like, just laid back and stuff, like it doesn't like there's all these different factors where the philosophy and psychology behind it sort of comes into play. And I find that very, very interesting because a lot of things aren't like that. Like a lot of things that you can do with your life aren't like that. Like you can be a sweet mathematician and it doesn't matter if you're positive or negative, you're still a sweet mathematician,
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can tell, and I've watched a lot of my old videos too. If you don't bring that vibe immediately in, and it's just a chill stream, like nobody's really going to hang around. It's difficult for me to do that sometimes because I sort of get focused on the game too much.
Yeah, the old balancing act. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been interesting, the journey just to where I am today. Like I didn't think I was gonna do any of this at all. Like I said, it popped up out of nowhere just off my Xbox on the Twitch app, and it took off from there. I mean, I think the Halo Master Chief Edition came out with the anniversary of Halo 2, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna stream this, and it
Yeah.
just sort of took off from there a little bit, and I did it for a little bit just as a on the side thing, and then I thought, yeah, um, I'm going to do this more often. That's where I sort of feel like I am now. Like coming into 2017, I know that I want to focus on consistency, and that's sort of what my main focus is. Like from now, like stick to my schedule. If people show up, just be a little bit more positive, and even when no one's around, just be myself. Usually, I'm in a group with other people and stuff, so.
Yeah, that's it, man. Well, it's good that you've got these goals in mind heading forward into the new year and stuff. That's huge. Like, for instance, consistency is a number one killer of Twitch streams, and I know that from personal experience. But it's hard, man, because you're working during the day, and like it's really hard to explain to people what it's actually like working and streaming. Like, that's a huge thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it can take its toll on you. I mean, if I don't know what time you start work, but I mean, if you work an 8-hour day anywhere, you get home and you just don't want to do it. Like,
Yeah.
the industry I'm in, it's always hands on, every day's busy up until Christmas, of course, because I get to take a freaking break, thank God. But, and you just get home at the end of the day and you've been up since like 5 o'clock and you're just wrecked and you just don't want to do it sometimes. But I have noticed that just having more people coming around and in just dropping into the stream, just boosts me a little bit and makes me want to come back. Like
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. So, Nicole has a question for you. She says, "What's been?" Or she has a couple actually. What's been the biggest challenges with streaming? Would you say that would be consistency or something else?
My biggest challenge has been consistency for sure. I just posted that on Instagram yesterday when I was like thinking about it. I'm like, going into 2017, consistency is going to be my main theme for January, and that's what I'm going to try and do is get through the whole month without missing a stream. Unless something serious comes up, of course. But yeah, that's what I'm aiming towards.
And what have you? Oh, wait. What's been your biggest achievement and success
Biggest achievement, as in on Twitch or just in general?
on Twitch?
Okay, on Twitch, yeah, that makes sense. Probably my biggest achievement would be just I can't even think of anything really. Just having a group of people that keep coming back. I mean, I didn't think anybody would. I've got a small group of people who always drop in to watch me stream, and I'd say that I'm pretty happy with that achievement for
When
sure.
with the regulars that you have coming in all the time, what do you think? What do you think's been the theme in terms of keeping those sort of people around and having a sweet interaction with them?
I think the fact that you can tell that they want to be there, like they don't have to drop in the first place. So just having them there, and they know that if they talk to me, I'm going to reply, and if they want to jump into a game with me, I've got all the consoles going, so they can just drop in, and you know, a lot of the times, I mean, with time differences has been a big issue as well.
Mm, mm.
But and a lot of the people who are my regulars are in those weird time zones where it's like 2 a.m. When they drop in. So I'm happy with that achievement. To be honest, that's probably my main one is like having people who are in time zones where it's early as fuck, and they're just like, yeah, I'll come and watch you, man. It's all good.
Yeah, it's pretty insane, isn't it? Because like you get people all over the world and stuff, and like shit. For some people, it's like as you said, like it's super early in the morning, and that's what they value your stream so much that they'll turn up, man. They'll make it part of their morning or night or
Mm.
whatever. That's pretty powerful stuff. Um,
I have been meaning to sort of move into YouTube and everything because, like I said, with this podcast, I mean, I haven't really talked about myself in front of an audience for ages because, like I said, nobody really drops in consistently because of me. But I sort of want to branch out a little bit and sort of push myself, onto people so they know that I'm out there. Because if I don't do it, then they're not going to know, are they really?
yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of those things. Like if your viewers can see like the personality and the story behind you, then they're more willing to be more open with you. I find.
Yeah.
Now, Mirome Benja too has a question for you, and he
Okay.
says, "Does streaming ever take a toll on you mentally or physically?"
Um, well, I don't think I'm going to get bruises from streaming unless Tara hits me, which she might. Physically, yeah, I think she's wanted to hit me a few times.
Yeah, yeah, you and me too,
um,
brother.
yeah, but mentally, I think it can. If things aren't going well, and I've had that issue, mentally, it's taken its toll on me, and I sort of haven't, with my consistency dropping the way it has. That's where it's taken its toll the most. It's like if I don't feel that I'm getting anywhere, it becomes pointless to me.
Yeah, yeah,
But I don't
absolutely.
want to let it get to that, you know what I mean? So that's why I've decided to do what I'm doing. So
What sort of like I've I definitely have the same thing. Like streaming can be very stressful, but do you have any
mm.
like techniques or any things that you do to sort of de-stress?
Well, I've got a bottle of Gentleman Jack on my desk right now, so having a few bevies before I stream usually loosens me up a little bit.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I find that I am more relaxed if I have people in a group with me or something. Something to bounce off. Because I find when I'm sitting there alone, I I sort of go into a shell,
Yeah.
and that's affecting everything, you know. Like that's just me. Like I'm just like that. I can't just talk to fresh air,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
that's
exactly. Yeah.
something I need to overcome as well. You know, just sitting there and talking to the gameplay. Of
So Nicole has another question. She says this is actually
course she
very
does.
interesting. This is actually very interesting for a number of reasons. But she says, does streaming take any sort of a toll on your relationship, and if so, how do you balance the two?
Um, Tara is extremely supportive of me. Maybe too much because I have a or I get into my mindset where I'm like, I'm not going to do this anymore, and then a week later, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it, and she struggles to not kill me, but um, I would say that it probably has taken its toll, and it is, you know, it's my fault that I've let that happen, but you know, like I said, she's extremely supportive of me, and you know, if I always ask before I do it, just to make sure that she's cool with it, because I you know, there's some points like even over the Christmas break where we didn't really do anything and I streamed a lot, and you know, she felt a little bit sort of, you know, pushed aside by it, but it wasn't the case, you know. But it can, I mean, it can affect it in other ways if you don't you know, if you don't focus on what's important in the end, which is your relationship. I mean, I love Twitch streaming, but I probably wouldn't put it ahead of anything else. Tara especially not.
Absolutely. That was a actually a momentum shift for me, because before I was with Nicole, I was like streaming was just everything. Like I would wake up in the
Mm.
morning, watch Twitch, I would stream and then go to bed and then watch Twitch, and it was just like everything was all Twitch. And then I had a partner and it was like, fuck, like I have to pick between the two now. And then of course, like longer down the line, I eventually like made the right decision, which was, no, I've got this woman that fucking loves me, why am I putting streaming before
Yeah.
her? And it's like, it's a really, really tough thing, man. It's tough because no matter what you're doing, whether it's streaming or playing video games in a team or whatever you're doing, it's like a really tough thing to sort of get the balance right, at least for me personally.
Yeah, definitely. Also, Marone Benja too says he said tell Lemmy I said hi. He's watching my stream.
Legend.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the whole relationship thing, I feel has probably made it a little bit more fun, in a way, because you know you're not focused 100% on Twitch, and you know then you have more shit to talk about. You know, so you got stuff going on in your life, and you got a relationship. It's not just gaming. You know, people like to hear other things when you're streaming as well, not just talk about games and blah blah blah. Like, oh, obviously it's all well and good. Everyone's on Twitch for that, but then you can talk a little bit about what you did on the weekend and add a bit more to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like what authors do and stuff, or comedians. It's like the more that you do away from it, the more it adds to your stream. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I feel that if you put 100% focus into it, like, well, it's all well and good. You know, you can get somewhere with it. You sort of lose yourself in some ways. You know, like you can't just do it 24/7 and claim to be happy.
Yeah, yeah. You get burnt out, man. You get burnt out.
Yeah. I mean, I see people doing 24-hour streams like all the time, and it's like, man, how the hell do you do that? And well, you're probably getting a killing from advertising and shit like that. Like, you'd be making a fair bit of money, but wouldn't you get bored? Like, I stream sometimes, and I get bored, and I go, I don't want to do it today. Like, it's just you get in that mindset sometimes where it's like, I'll just go do something outside, or I'll mow the lawn, or so it's interesting balancing gaming and sort of outside activities.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Absolutely. So moving past Twitch streaming and stuff,
Mm,
when it comes to when you were younger, like before all of it happened, before Twitch streaming started, before like
yeah.
you met your missus, what sort of, give us like a nutshell version of like leading up to it.
leading up to, well, I mean, I wrote this down last night because, I went through that email and I was like, I got all this stuff I can write down about my life and how I came into
Perfect.
gaming.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, all right, I remember because I was born in '88, so I mean, I was after the time of, the Super Nintendo, or, Super Nintendo and all that stuff. I never had it, I played it because my mates had it. Friends and stuff, family had
Hmm. Hmm.
Super Nintendo and all that, but the first console we ever got was the Sega Master System 2, and I got to watch my dad go into insomnia and try and clock Alex Kidd non-stop because every time you
What?
died, every time you died, you went back to the start, and he's like, motherfucker. So it was funny to watch that, and that sort of piqued my interest. Then, just with gaming, I was like, this is sick.
Mm.
Like, you can just sit here and just do whatever for hours and have fun with other people, and um, then we, '94 comes around, you get the PlayStation 1. My brother and myself used to play it all the time. We used to go around to our cousin's house and play all the Oddworld games, like Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus. We just love that, like just the puzzles and all that. And then probably, I'd say maybe 10 years or so later, I moved into PCs. When I was about 14, I built my first one, and I actually blew up the first time because I didn't research enough into power supplies, and I put this
Wait, it
overpowered
actually
process.
it actually blew up, or
Yeah, there was sparks coming out
oh,
of the power
dude,
supply.
that's insane.
It's like I don't think I've ever jumped at the power point before and ripped it out of the wall quicker. Like I thought like I thought I fried everything, but I was lucky.
Oh, what?
I
It still worked and stuff.
Yeah, like it
Wow,
literally
dude.
was just the power supply that over like it just blew up because obviously the wattage wasn't high enough for the components I was running to it. And this is like when Half-Life 2 came out, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll go and get a new processor and speed it up. And as soon as I put the CPU in there, I've switched it on and played it for about 10 minutes, and all of a sudden it's turned off and just gone sparks coming out. And I shit myself because I was living in this little bungalow out the back
Yeah, yeah.
from the main house, and I was just by myself out there. And I was like, I'm glad nobody was here to see that because they would have heard me squeal like a little girl and jump. But yeah, I mean, I sort of got interested in PCs then and started building them for other people and myself. Like I've had at least 4 or 5 rigs that I've gone through since I was 14. I'm now like 28, so I've just built them every few years, just upgraded them and whatever. And yeah, now I'm stuck on everything. I got consoles and PC, and I'll probably say I'm still partial mostly to PC.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that I still can't get over that PC thing, man. Like the worst thing that's ever happened to me with a PC is I got a graphics card that was like there was a fault on it and I had to send it back or
Mm.
something. But actually blowing up, that's insane, dude. It's insane.
The worst thing I ever did, I was like, oh man, I hope I didn't break the whole thing.
Yeah,
Lucky it was just the power supply.
yeah,
Scott said
absolutely.
I'm an old man now. Man, 28's not that old. Not that old. I still look like a little kid.
They say like even like 40 is still young, you know. So,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm
we're just
28.
babies,
I'm not
man.
that bad. Hey, if I shave, I still look 16. Big,
Yeah.
little fat 16-year-old. But
So
crap.
so Marone Benja wants to know well, for both of us, what was the first game we played? So uh
Ah,
you can
first
go
game.
first.
It'd have to be Alex Kidd for sure on the Master System too. That was the first one I ever played.
Yeah, for me, like how I got into computers was because my old man used to fix them, and so
Mm.
he used to bring home educational Mac
Ah,
games, and I used to play
right.
like
I remember him.
yeah, I used to play the educational games like spelling games and
Yeah.
maths games and stuff. So that was probably one of those educational games for me. I was about
Mm.
3 or 4 or something, but probably like the first big one that people would probably know would be probably Age of Mythology, Age of Empires, something like that.
Ah, right. Yeah, I used to kick on that myself because when we started getting PCs, I remember this old IBM we used to have was like $3,000. I'm thinking, shit, man, if I had to pay for that these days, I would have killed myself. Like, it was like top of the range when it came out. My parents bought it, and yeah, it was just Age of Empires. My dad would just be playing Age of Empires on it 24/7. I'm like, I've never seen him game like that since because he's just moved away from it. But
Well, that's interesting because, like, my dad, like my whole family, none of them into video games and stuff. But when it
mm,
comes to, like, I've been in Battlefield clans and groups and all that stuff and did all
mm.
the competitive side, and there was actually like a lot of kids that would have fathers who gamed and even be in the same clan and stuff. So what's it like when you were growing up having a dad that was right into video games and stuff?
Yeah, well, it was, my dad sort of brought me into Star Wars at an early age, gaming, and I remember watching the Alien movie when I was, 6 years old. So, um, yeah, my dad had a pretty big influence on me getting into that. I reckon. I mean, I don't know if he knows that because I probably never told him, but yeah, he was into it when he was younger, I think, and sort of now he's more active. Like he likes to bloody go out and four-wheel driving and stuff like that, which I do with him as well. But yeah, he influenced me when I was young to get into gaming because he was always sort of with me on it. And like the only one who games now in my family is my brother. Not regularly. He doesn't game as much as he used to, but yeah, I mean, he probably influenced all of us into it, especially watching him play Alex Kidd over and over again. That was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah, that's it. So he really got you into it. Okay. If Nicole asks if you could do anything career wise that you wanted, what would you do?
Anything career-wise, I would probably be a game developer. I used to actually do a lot of 3D modeling and stuff um, years ago now, and I used to love look, anything gaming or anything like web design, graphic design, anything with computers, I'd probably be content with. Um, but obviously, another oversaturated market there, and me not having probably the business prowess that I need to get into it, I am, yeah, stuck what I'm doing with what I'm doing, at
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like,
least to make ends meet.
yeah, well, that's the thing. When it comes to IT stuff, like it's can be like it's like Twitch, man. Like, how do you differentiate yourself? Like, especially
Mm,
as a game dev or something. Like, it's like fuck. There's so many people out there with like experience and stuff. It'd be such a hard thing to
mm.
break into unless you had hours upon hours to just build your own games and like put that in your portfolio or something.
Oh yeah. Well, I was thinking about probably to break through if I made like the best Dragon Ball Z game ever, and because I'm such a fan of Dragon Ball Z, if I did that, I'd probably make a killing. Maybe one that's accurate to the story and actually follows the story.
Yeah, yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. I still remember back in the day I was playing Halo 1 and people were modding that like no
Ooh,
tomorrow.
Hells yeah, yeah, man. I remember playing that back on PC as well.
Yeah, yeah. Blood got like all sorts of mods. It was really like to this day there is some absolutely incredible stuff going on in
Oh,
the
they're
modding
crazy, aren't they?
community. Yeah,
Have
like
you have you seen the Halo 5 mods as well?
not at
Like
all.
maybe not so much like just the maps that people make are just nuts. Like
Yeah, and there's all concepts and stuff as well. Like people are like, because I watched a video once on a fast forwarded like times 10 of this guy building a Counter-Strike map, and he's like
oh
explaining
yeah.
it while it's going on. He's like, well, you need to have this path here, because if you don't
Mm,
have that, the game won't be balanced. So they're not just designing a level, they're designing like several things, like how they want the
mm,
maps to play out, how they want players to play out, what
mm.
style. Like they have to make it so it's competitive and not one sided. Like there's all these things that go into like map stuff. Insane. It just
Yeah,
blows my mind.
the modding community really has some amazing people in it. I mean, you look at a lot of old games like I was playing some old Star Wars games recently, like Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy and all that, and people just modded the shit out of those games. And even wanted to rebuild it. Like they started projects where they were rebuilding the game in HD. A lot of them failed, unfortunately, but the concepts of what they did was just amazing. It's like this is just one dude sitting at home just modeling. Like, holy shit, he has just made like the whole game, and it just looks amazing. Like I can't believe it just baffles me how like how clever people are. You know what I mean? Like especially in the modding community.
Yeah, and even games come out of it. Like that's how Dota and League of Legends
Yeah.
came out of it.
Mm.
Counter-Strike came out of it. All these games, and it's just like, I mean, I look at it from like a business side. I'm like, it really sucks for the people who mod it because most of the time they
Yeah.
don't get the rights to the game, and now Counter-Strike
Nah.
is massive, and that guy's got nothing to show for it. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Like entire new games from modding.
Yeah. It's
It's
nuts, yeah, and it's like all they'll do is just use the engine, you know, or like
mm,
like Jedi Outcast, and I'm pretty sure the source code has been um, released to the public now because obviously LucasArts doesn't exist anymore. Um, but yeah, I mean, just some of the stuff they can do, it's just nuts.
yeah, they're super dedicated, man. It's pretty crazy. So when you go on Twitch, what what do you like to see, or what do you like to see more of?
When do you mean more when I'm viewing
Yeah,
other
yeah, as a
Twitch?
viewer,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I like to watch small streamers due to the fact that if you do go and watch them, and these are small streamers who are actually serious about it, you know, like they want people to jump in there. It's just like, you can go in there and just chat with someone for half an hour and just learn a little bit about them, and they tend to be great partners as well, because they want to grow. I do have this one guy, Majestic Ram, who I follow. I can't remember how he randomly came up, and he's only a small streamer, but he's just got that positive, fun attitude that you want in a small streamer. You know, like somebody who's just he's laid back, but he's funny. You know, like he's British as well, so he's got that accent that just makes you lol. um, but yeah, I mean, when I go on Twitch, I always search for the smaller streamers because I think that you know me myself being one underappreciated when you go to those channels and there's usually something really good to see. Like a lot of people are very competitive, or they're really good at the game, but they're not getting the appreciation they deserve. So that's what I definitely look for when I go on Twitch.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's good, man. It's good because a lot of people are like that. I mean, I have a mate, Josh, and he was saying to me that he only goes on smaller viewer streams because he knows 100% that he can have a conversation with that person one on one, and he really likes that. He doesn't like going
Mm,
to the bigger streams for someone that won't talk to them and they're providing their own entertainment. So there's like two different styles almost.
mm. Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I tune in every so often to uh, Dan's Gaming,
yeah, yeah.
because I like every now. I mean, you can't really talk to him, but like just seeing the opposite of what I'm looking for right there. I mean, he's a giant. Like he's been on it since it was first created. He's one of the veterans of the Twitch community. Um,
At one point,
but
he was keeping me streaming, dude, because he wrote this. I don't know if you've seen it. He wrote this thing, and I got it off the
mm,
internet, and it was like this 2-page document that was for people trying to grow their stream, and it was like,
no, I have read that. Yeah, I've
yeah,
read that.
yeah,
Mm,
that was like one of the things that I read that really pushed me to do better. You know what I mean?
mm,
That was really good
yeah,
value.
yeah, it was, wasn't it? Yeah, because I've always searched for that. I mean, that's my main search on Google. Is like, how can I sort of tweak my Twitch stream to make it, enjoyable for viewers? And me maybe not talking is probably a good thing because nobody wants to hear my voice. But um, just going through those, and a lot of them you read are the same. They just say, be consistent. Talk about the game while you're playing it, and just like be positive. And people will come in, just say hi to them, and how was your day and stuff like that. And it's really basic, but also very, very difficult as well because some people find it, like myself, to sort of be social unless I'm drinking a lot.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I did the same thing, and I still do to this day. I look at videos and tips and tricks, but a lot of them I don't find to be too useful. I mean, to if someone who's completely new to Twitch, I think that they can be useful, but a lot of them I just don't find. Like some people say to stream big games and maybe stream a new release game and things like that. And I always just think like the way that I got started is I was streaming a game that no one was streaming, and I kind of just lucked out because it was like I was the best in 2014. I was like the top or one of the top Modern Warfare 2 streamers, and I liked COD 4, but I never really liked the series. And when I started, I was just going through games that I owned just for fun or whatever, and I ended up doing the Modern Warfare 2, and a lot of people came in, and I was like, oh sweet, this is awesome. And then off the backbone of that and the momentum of that, I went into Counter-Strike, and then from there now I'm here. But yeah, it's, I mean, I just like a lot of it just doesn't seem relevant because today there's just so many streamers, and it's like,
Yeah. I mean, how many people are streaming Destiny and like, you know, the top tier games, and some of them are just doing it purely for the fact that, oh yeah, it'll get me up to the top and viewers and blah blah blah. But there's some good people out there like yourself. I mean, you know, you're extremely competitive. And what are you currently playing now that you're probably, is it Overwatch that you're playing competitively?
well, for the past couple of weeks, I've sort of shifted my focus. I was probably for a year and a half, maybe 2 years, maybe even a bit more. I was just straight Counter Strike. Like that's all I did. Maybe
Yeah.
I'd play different games at the start and the end. Like I'd play some H1Z1, some Hearthstone, things like that. But for at least 4 hours of my stream, I would do Counter Strike. But for now, I'm doing Overwatch, Battlefield 1, and like just a lot of side games. I'm going more variety and stuff because I was doing Counter Strike for so long, but now I'm at the point where it's like I just don't even enjoy playing it anymore. I just get frustrated, and I don't really want to be putting that on other people. Like I don't want my negative attitude to influence my viewers and put them down or anything. So it's just like fuck it. Like if I lose a few viewers because I don't stream the game I'm consistently known to stream, that's okay because we'll just have a good time on this other game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've always found variety to be my strongest point. Also weakest because, you know, if you change games every 5 minutes, people don't always tune in. But you know, the loyal people do. You know, the regulars always drop in no matter what you're playing. And you know, I've always found that like my favorite game series is Mass Effect, and if I stream it, I'm like top. You know, like I'm happy, like because that's my favorite game. Um, but it is good to switch it up a little bit because you can get stale, you know, like you play the same game for friggin', you know, a month or something. You're like, this is boring. Like this is boring me as well as probably people who are watching me.
Well, that's what happened to me, man. Because like
Mm,
I had like all the Modern Warfare 2 people. They came to my stream for Counter Strike for a few months. Some dropped off straight away. Some dropped off later on.
mm,
But then it was like I saw like a massive decline when I just kept streaming Counter Strike, and then followed up after the few months of just like more people who are into Counter Strike, and now like it's kind of comes in waves no matter what game you play.
mm,
And that was kind of
definitely.
like it was kind of like weird times, man. Just some experience, I guess. But yeah.
Mm. It's just one of those things. I guess you eventually have to overcome and just bite the bullet and go, yeah, I'm gonna this game out. At the end of the day, you end up liking it anyway. So,
Exactly. I mean, that's the other thing is like I've been talking to my stream about it a lot, and it's like, what, like, if what angle should I come at this? Because if I do this as a hobby and I do this to have fun, which I do, then that's awesome. But if I push for this to be like a career and
mm,
like sort of like shape it as a business, then the whole psychology shifts because then I don't do things because they're fun. I do
yeah.
things because I want to grow, and then that's the dilemma that I constantly have with my stream. And
Mm.
I'm still yet to find an answer, but we'll figure it out as we go.
Well, I mean, I've always felt that like I really, really, really in 2017 want to grow a lot more. And I just think that I can do that, um, but I don't want to take it too seriously. You know what I mean? Like, while it's going to be good to have more viewers, I can't see myself, you know, being Defiantfa11, the top streamer on Twitch that doesn't have a job except Twitch streaming and stuff like that. And you know, I'd just get bored. You know, like I love to game, but I get to a point where I'm like, hey, I just want to have a break. So you know, and then if you're doing that Twitch streaming, you know, you have a break, you're not making any money, so you sort of have to do it all the time then. And I don't want to be forced into it because I feel that my whole persona is just based on the casual thing. Like that's just who I am, just a casual gamer, like most people are, and that's where I feel that I I can sort of relate to other gamers. Yeah, because a lot of them just play it just for the hell of playing it. Like I love to game. I'm just gonna jump on with my mates on the weekend and just have a bit of a laugh. Like that's how I'm sort of shaping my stream and just my whole thing, my whole channel.
Absolutely. So a couple of just quick questions here.
Sure.
If you had one thing to tell yourself when you first started streaming that you know now, what do you think it would be?
Drink more. um, okay, if it was back then, I'd probably say focus on the consistency
Yeah.
for sure. Like, don't let it slide. That would be the main thing I'd probably tell myself now.
And Roy has a question that I can't really. I'm sorry, Roy, but oh no, he rephrased it because he said it really wrong. What is the meaning of life? Says Roy. That's a loaded question, isn't it?
The meaning of life, right? Let me
Sucks,
just
doesn't it?
check my crystal ball. I wish I had the answer to the meaning of life. I always thought it was death because we all eventually die, but I mean that's just a personal idea of what it could be.
Yeah, absolutely. That's you can't even answer that with certainty. No one can answer that with certainty.
The
It's a
meaning of
tough one.
life is to live life to the fullest.
Yeah. That's it. All right. So Twitch chat. If you guys have any other questions here for my man Luke, send them through and I'll pass it his way. It can be about anything. And yeah, we'll get it on. They're all laughing at the question. They're all like,
Lol. And you got Scott on my channel. Scott Rollins just gambling his chips away. So I've got chips running with RevloBot at the moment. So.
yeah. Oh, that reminds me. Now you stream with what's it called? Is it Beam? It's that restream service, right?
Yeah, well, I'm because I got the NBN. Thank God, I can stream with everything now, so I can put it on YouTube, which I'm not doing as much. Like I was doing it on all. I was streaming on Twitch, Beam, and YouTube, and then I just thought, YouTube's not really getting me much, and I don't want to just keep plugging up my YouTube channel with VODs and stuff. So I just backed it off to Beam and Twitch.
Absolutely.
So I am on Beam as well, which the Beam platform's actually pretty good. Like the delay is a lot less. Like it's only like 3 seconds or something. So I mean that's one bonus over the Twitch one.
Well, for the viewers out there that don't know what Beam is, essentially Beam is a restream service, so you can stream to Beam, I believe, from what I've read. I could be wrong, but you stream to Beam and then you can choose where that stream goes. So I could stream on Twitch, on Hitbox, on YouTube, all at the same time, and that's basically what it is. I think, is that right?
I think Beam's its own service. Like it's Twitch, but it's Beam. Like you know what I mean? Like it's a streaming service. Restream itself is a separate service that you can sort of have all your streaming
That's
platforms
right. Yeah, I
on.
mixed the names up. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's good. Because I was on there the other day. So yeah, you can set up everything through Restream and then have it sort of it passes through that RTMP URL and then it goes all the way out through like YouTube, Twitch, Beam, Hitbox. There's a whole bunch of different services that you can add. You've got, what do you got here? VK Live, Ustream, all these, MLG Gaming. There's shitloads of them. So you can sort of just stream from OBS through one channel, and it'll just go out to all of them in one hit. So I've been using that for the last maybe 2 months, 3 months or so.
Oh, awesome. Because I did a bit of research on it. I saw it on your Twitter and I was like, I've never seen this. And then I checked it out and it seemed very interesting. Like I was like, oh, I might give it a go, but I don't know yet. I have to do some more research,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can always check it out. I mean, Beam is not as popular as Twitch, Thanks for the follow there, DP Carter 43. There's new people following me on my channel.
There you go, Dylan, getting in there, good boy.
Beautiful, thanks, mate. Yeah, just Beam's not as popular as Twitch, obviously. I think Microsoft owns it, to be honest, and it's a contender for Twitch.
Okay,
Not
yep.
as easy to use. The layout is a little bit, it's a pain in the ass. Like Twitch is pretty easy to navigate, I'd say.
Yep.
But I found it good because on Instagram I have a little community called under Nerds, Geeks, and Gamers. I don't know if anyone follows it on Instagram, but they're pretty popular. And they have a little stream team that they run on Beam at the moment, and I just joined up with them. So when I restream, I'm running obviously through Twitch and Beam, like I am right now.
Perfect. Well, that's always a good way, man. Like you can, if you can get a like a group of people with similar goals, it always helps out. I like that.
Yeah, definitely. It's just, and I've actually gamed with a few of those people from that group already, just in Overwatch, because they've dropped in and whatever, and it's great. So yeah, it's already sort of increased my social side of the whole gaming thing, which I always struggled with.
So Scott Rowlands asks, how tall are you?
I think I'm 6 foot. Is it 5'9"? No, I'm 6. No, I'm 6'1". Actually, I am 6'1". I always get that mixed up. 6'1", so about 182 centimeters.
Roy asks, favorite alcoholic drink?
Partial to Jack Daniels. If you're watching my stream now, I've got the Gentleman Jack up on the screen.
Delicious. I can do
Oh
it.
yeah, drink a fair bit of that. Well, I cut it off for a little bit because I just wanted to see how long I'd go without drinking, and then New Year's came up, and I was like, nah, I have to have a drink.
Yeah. Leroy asks, Jennifer Lawrence or Emma Stone?
Can I have both? All right. I'd probably find Emma Stone less annoying, but they're both rocking, so I'd probably take them both.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Nicole asks, what level/rank thingy is Defiantfa11?
Level/rank, as in
On Overwatch, I believe.
Oh god, I'm only like, I think I just hit 19, so I haven't prestige, what they're calling it with this stuff.
Yeah.
I haven't got up to there yet, so 5 days in, I'm like 4 or 5 days in, I'm level 19.
Okay, perfect. Let me just scroll through and see if we have any more questions. I will take this moment just to say, thanks Veno, thanks for the host, I appreciate that. For you guys that have just come in, we're interviewing Luke or Defiantfa11. Someone link that in the chat, and we're just having an interview every Sunday night. We are doing interviews with other streamers and getting their unique perspectives on streaming. Zesk asks, do bald men wash their head with soap or shampoo?
I'd probably say soap. What's the point of you wasting shampoo if there's no hair?
Yeah.
You could condition their head.
Don't they have like oil or something? I don't know.
I think they use that when they're done, but I mean, wouldn't you? I'd prefer Head and Shoulders because you get like cradle cap shit on your head still, wouldn't you, if you were bald? I don't know. It's like when you were a baby.
Things are getting weird here.
Yeah,
we got deep.
They've gotten weirder. I think we've entered the dark web now.
Yeah. Zesk is pretty happy that we explored that one. All right, cool. No, is there anything else that you wanted to discuss, or anything that you wanted to talk about while we got you here on the?
Oh man, I mean, I probably should say now, I really appreciate that you offered this to me. I don't know how you, or if you had any other people sort of lined up, but I feel honored that you were the first one that I spoke to, because it's getting me out there a little bit, which is good. I'm wrapped, so thanks a lot for that.
Yeah, no worries, man. I mean, that's what it's all about, I think. Like doing this segment and stuff, like I know what it was like when I came up and started streaming, and to help out like people that are trying to like really get their teeth into Twitch, like that gives me a good feeling inside. And if I can put this on YouTube, I mean, already we probably had like a random number, maybe like 50 or 60 people popping in and out of the stream, and it's like, and that's like some more people that can come to your stream. Like, by the way, guys, if can you do me a massive favor? Just go over to Defiant11's YouTube, sorry, Twitch right now. It's linked in the chat, but it's Defiant11, 2 1s for the L's at the end. Scott's linked that in chat for you guys, and head over there.
Thanks.
Follow him up, show him some love. He's a really, really honest, genuine dude, and yeah, catch some of his streams there.
Probably say the best thing that you've done so far is actually pronounce the name properly, because everyone calls me like Defiantfa11 or Defiantfa11. I'm like, dude, it's full. Come on, seriously. Like back in Xbox fucking name generator days, you know, the ones mean L's. Just get with the times, for God's sake. So that's probably been frustrating me a little bit, because every time I go and follow someone, they're like, I'll just call you Defiant. I'm like, that's cool, but just don't call me Defiant FA11.
Bro, I used to get LemmiAU because of the AU at the end.
LemmiAU. LemmiAU. It's like you're half cat.
Yeah, exactly. LemmiAU.
Oh, cool. I'm getting a few follows here. Cheers, guys.
Perfect. So, just to recap here, I mean, this is a segment that we do on the Twitch every Sunday night at around about 8 o'clock Queensland time. This footage will be uploaded to YouTube, so if you missed any of the interview tonight and want to know a bit more about Luke, you'll be able to check that out probably in the early hours of the morning tomorrow. And yeah, if you want to be featured on the Sunday segment, just send me a message or whatever. But yeah, it's been awesome talking to you, Luke.
It's for sure.
Look, to be honest, coming into this, being the first time, like for me interviewing someone and for you being interviewed, like I think we did a good job, man. I'm
pretty happy with it.
I think we got through it well, and look, there were a few awkward moments, I think, on my behalf, but look, it was good fun, man. It was good fun, absolutely.
For sure, man. I mean, I was extremely nervous when you mentioned it at the start. I was like, I don't know, man. Like, you know, no one talk, but yeah, I just think it's good that we did this, because I mean, we can sort of collaborate a little bit now, you know. Like, you know, I'm quite happy to assist with anything, man, and you know, just so it's expanded things a little bit for me, which is good coming into the new year.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you likewise, man, I mean, if you need anything, or you know, you can always hit me up. I mean, I don't know what you're doing right now, but we could even play some Overwatch or something like that.
Yeah, I reckon we probably could, man. I do have to go to because if I don't go to the bathroom, I'll explode. But yeah, I reckon we could do that. That sounds good, man. And yeah, just doing this, and it's just been a really good experience.
Awesome, man. That's good to hear. So what I think we'll do now is I'll let you go to the toilet, and I'll finish up things on the stream, and I'll send you a message if you want to just chill on the Discord, maybe in like 5 minutes, and then I'll invite you, or you invite me, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that sounds good. I was going to say too, hang on. Give me a minute. I've forgotten what I was going to say.
No worries.
I'm the worst. Yeah, I've literally forgot what I was going to say. It must be the alcohol. It might be getting to me.
Oh, good, dude. Well, thanks for coming. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to say, man, if you want to schedule me in for like maybe 6 months' time, if you want to do this again, I mean, I don't want to sort of jump ahead if you've got ideas of who you want to interview next, but you know, maybe 6 months down the track, we could do this again, and we can sort of just discuss progress and see where things are at.
Dude, that sounds like a plan, my man. That sounds like a plan. I'd be super psyched to do that. We can catch up, see where we're both at, and yeah, I feel like we're bros now, man. I feel like
we are. Like, we're tight.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, sweet as. Well, yeah. Thanks for coming on for the Sunday interview. I appreciate it, and yeah, you take care, man. I'll talk to you in Overwatch shortly.
Yeah, shortly, man. And just for everyone that is watching, you know, thanks for listening, and just following me in general too.
No worries. Too easy.
I don't know if my sound's cutting
in and out. It's cutting in and out.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, I do appreciate it. Everyone's participation tonight, and yeah, hope to catch you all soon.
Too easy. Alrighty. Well, guys, that is that is the Sunday FunDay interview for you guys. Let me know what you think, what you thought, and yeah, let me know. Just let me know how you found that, because for me, you guys are the third person. You can tell me how it went and stuff like that. But he's a super chill dude, man. He's a nice fucking guy. He's a good dude. So good.